Michael, I met through our business networking international groups, and he is a tutor, but has currently started a business called Coach for Tutors. And I thought it might be interesting to have Michael come and join me today to talk about homeschooling kids and entertaining, for lack of a better word, children when they're forced to be at home. So, Michael, thanks so much for coming. This is really great.
Well, thank you, Martha, again for having me.
Yeah.
And look forward to helping out.
So it's one of the reasons why I reached out and asked you was because I saw a meme on Facebook really early on in this whole social distancing program when the schools were closed, that on the first day, the meme was like, first day homeschooling, 2 kids expelled and parent fired for teaching while drinking while teaching on the job. Yeah. And I think a lot of parents are in that situation right now, and struggling with what do they do with the kids with the school year being uncertain. I'm sure you've had a lot of experience with teaching kids at home. What are you up to right now with your clients and not only the kids but the tutors that work with you?
Right. So right now with the parents and with the children at home, it's creating an online hub, continuing that community, continuing that virtual communication system, and just having an easy transition and lots of open communication. And with the tutors that I coach, a lot of the questions are coming in about how do I do online tutoring? What would be a good way to keep that engagement factor there, and just really helping with that, and how to keep it the momentum going and the motivation going for children to continue to learn.
So there are a lot of online portals and opportunities, but you have a bunch of suggestions for parents on how to engage with kids, how to keep learning fun, because the dynamic between the parent and the child is definitely different from a teacher. So they're not necessarily going to have the same level of interaction with the parent trying to take over this role of teacher.
Absolutely, and that's one thing as well. For a couple of parents have reached out to me about that feeling of, oh my gosh, what do I do? I feel so anxious about this, and it's just be good to yourself. It's your role. You're the parent. You're not under any stress to be the teacher and to be teaching for hours a day. It's really about just doing your best to work within these new parameters with your child, and just do your best to engage with them and communicate with them, and just keep that open air of communication going, and set up a routine that works around these new parameters, and know that you have support.
Yeah. So there's some great things like household things that align exactly with like school, like cooking, for example, with math, and what else? Because that's the only thing I could think of. I'm sure you have more suggestions.
Some things that you can do are grow a garden that helps with science and life cycles, or you can do scavenger hunts in your backyard, which can really keep that physical component going, but also that mental component of going as well. Or you can do role play, or you could do creative writing, or you could create your own board games. There's lots of different activities you can do to keep that learning going, but it's still fun and engaging and based on your child's interests as well.
I saw somebody in our community, they put together essentially a snakes and ladders board in their driveway. It was a chalkboard that they created. It was super cool and again, what I love about this time is that people are being so creative, and it's so interesting with the ideas and things that they're coming up with. A walk in the woods, collecting, or again, social distancing, but collecting different leaves or shrubs, and then going online and checking and seeing what those are would be a way to have physical activity, but also align it with science and nature at school.
Absolutely, and even just if you go online, just if you want to do some sightseeing, just go to different museum sites, or you can go to a different there's different travel sites that can show you different parts of the world and have interactive virtual exhibits. So there's a chance for your child's horizons to be broadened, learn, but at the same time, it's social distancing, it's keeping things safe as well for everybody.
Very cool. So you are you provide some private tutoring, but you also you do a lot of coaching for tutoring. So if the parent was interested in reaching out to you for either getting a tutor or using you as a tutor, how would they go about doing that?
Right. So if they're interested in reaching out to me directly, Facebook, they can send me a private message if they're interested, or they can by email as well, michaelgibben@gmail.com. I'm available as well for, if they have any questions.
So on your website, do you have that we could direct people to? Do you have any sort of tools or resources there that they could check out?
Right. So I'll send you an email with some resources
Oh, great.
after our chat today. Yeah, I have resources for tutors building their tutoring businesses, but for parents, I do have a resource link that I can send you after this.
That's great. And what are the ages that of the kids that you normally deal with?
So for myself, I work with usually students ages 5 to 11, 12. That's my age range there.
Oh, good. So, and remind me, that's kind of like a grade 1 to grade 6. Is that right?
Yeah, it's SK up to
SK.
grades. Yeah, up to grade 6, grade 7.
And it's all subjects, not just like primarily math, or it's all different subjects.
Right. So for myself, it would be English and math, and then science and social studies would be my main 4.
Wow, English and math. I was good at English and terrible at math. So whereas my dad is brilliant at math and terrible at English. So it's great that you cross both of them. Is there anything else that, like, what about day structure for parents and kids as to what it is that they are coping with on a day-to-day basis? Because, it's tempting to spend all day in your jammies, but obviously, even if you work from home, one of the big things is to get up, have a shower, get dressed as if you're going to a job. What about for kids?
For sure. So, so something that you can do with children that I've found has worked is setting up a schedule with them right away for the week. Set up a schedule for the week on, say on Sunday, and say, okay, well, these are the time blocks that you're having online teaching with your classroom, and these are the blocks you're doing, for example, having lunch, breakfast, dinner, general routine items. And now here's some open blocks. So when would you like to do this interactive activity? Or when would you like to have a virtual play date with your friends? Or if they're older, when do you want to go on social media and hang out with your friends? Setting that schedule up with your children, it's collaborative, and it creates a routine so that it doesn't lead to idling, because you want to make sure there's a routine and that momentum's going. And it helps to keep, I think, keep people more sound during these very uncertain times.
Absolutely.
Some semblance of control or certainty over your day.
Yeah, and that can be a fun interactive activity too, where you can cut pictures out of a magazine or something like that and post them on a Bristol board, or even just create something on a chalkboard if you have something like that, or a dry erase board, whatever tools you have at home. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It can be fun too.
Absolutely. And even in this interactive Google Calendar, they have different colors and different interactive icons. So students can create these children create these icons with their parents and create a schedule online. And it's interactive for all parties. Everyone can see it, and you can click through and change things. And
yeah, that's really cool. So I actually, one of my former jobs was I worked at the ROM, and you mentioned virtual museums, and I know many museums and many cultural institutions have online activities for kids to follow, even tours through different world historical sites and stuff. So those are also fun, because this time of year the kids would be going on field trips, and so they're missing all those end of school field trips. And to even create a morning of field trip where you can do it through the portal or through a website, rather than so they're actually not actually missing out on that fun experience.
Exactly. And also for a lot of students as well, and a lot of children as well, they love science, and there's lots of great science experiments you can do. YouTube has a plethora of great resources and videos that you can watch, and it just keeps that learning going. It's active, it's interactive, and at the same time, you're creating that community with your child and creating community with others as well.
And the weather's nice, so you can do it outside, so you're not like exploding Coke bottles or whatever in your kitchen.
Yeah. Don't do the Coke and Mentos inside.
Exactly. I saw that online the other day, the Coke and Mentos. It's like, and it just boom. But that's very fun. So Michael, thank you so much for being on. We'll post the details of all of this stuff that we've talked about in the comments of the chat. And I really encourage anybody who is feeling anxious to shoot Michael a quick email because he can absolutely direct you. Michael, I found Michael always to be very calm and very easy to talk to and these sort of things. So please reach out, and because it's a really great service he provides. And if you're worried about your child's school year, I'm sure Michael can hook you up with a tutor. If it's not him, it's somebody else who'd be really helpful.
Okay, thank you so much, Martha.
Thanks. Nice to have you online, Michael. We'll talk to you soon.
Make it a great day.
You too. Oh, it will end in just a sec.